Welcome back, Golly Vibes family, to another Table Talk. Today's episode is going to be spicy. Ladies and gentlemen, today's hot topic.
Don't start nothing. We just got on here.
It's crazy. I don't know if you guys know about these different parades and these different protests, but people be out there protesting with their children for reproductive health care. It's pretty intense. Now, this story right here I had to bring up and talk about because it's absolutely mind-blowing. It's absolutely ridiculous. It says, I'm sorry, what? This couple say their trans child knew he was a girl at the age of 1. Before they picked up the alphabet, they're planning a life of hormone treatments and surgery. I don't think these people have any idea how deranged they are. Let me show you the video of this actual lady saying this about her child, knowing that they were a different gender when they were 1. Here's the question. Is it the child that believes it or the parents that are trying to force it? Watch this.
What motivated you to come out here today?
We're supporting our child, Violet, and her access to the medical care that she needs.
Yeah, we're here for her rights and her ability to be who she is. And she's not going to let anybody silence her, and we're not going to stand in her way.
What state are you from?
Arizona.
Okay. Are you concerned about how this case would affect Arizona, or do you think that would have an impact there?
Yes, 100% we're concerned, and we've discussed having to move, which we don't want to do, but Violet comes first, and her medical care and her medical needs come first, so we'll see what happens.
And what age do you think most trans kids determine that they're trans?
Violet told us when she was 1.5. She's been telling us since she could speak. So she knew since birth.
You mean to tell me this baby was born? This baby who's not even thinking about anything when it comes to attraction, anything when it comes to liking a different gender. They just was like, girl, that's what you mean to tell me? Absolutely rubbish. 1-year-old just learned. I mean, they just learned to say a word, maybe a couple months. They're crying all that time, not worried about anything but milk.
First thing came out her mouth was, I'm trans.
Absolutely. Like I told you guys before, Dr. Oz, who was actually on the side of reproductive health care with children who had kids on this show talking about that they were trans, came out and said recently that 85% of kids who think that they're different genders actually come out of that phase if you just leave them alone. But the fact is, a lot of these different parents bring them into different spaces where, their doctors start talking to them, their therapists, professors, teachers. All these different individuals are planting different seeds in their minds, and those seeds begin to grow. Exactly. And as they grow, they start giving birth to these ideas that, I really am this. They've been engrafting them since they were a child, since they were a baby. Now they're in a place of, being older, and they're like, this, maybe I really am this. I am what I think I am. Now, there are different people that are starting to wake up. I want you guys to check out this journalist who was just on a talk show who actually talked about this buffoonery. Watch this.
Rubbish.
Almost equally important, maybe as important, is what we're doing to our children with this trans insanity. I mean, this is almost my single issue. We are chopping off the healthy body parts of young children without, 100% we are doing that.
Well, we are definitely doing that.
Without any inquisition.
That's what it is. So
into
I don't know what
happening.
the oohing is about.
I don't either. Pay attention, because I'm about to give you a truth bomb. Kids who are suffering from bullying, or who have been sexually assaulted, or who are going through normal puberty and feel uncomfortable in their bodies, will say to their parents, I'm not sure, maybe I'm gender confused. They will send them into a psychiatrist or psychologist who are told by our organizations, the American Psychiatry Association, and all the others that run their licensing, you must affirm. Affirm is the only standard. And so the child gets told, you're right, you are secretly a boy, or vice versa. And the child gets put on puberty blockers, into cross-sex hormones, which sterilize a child and deprive the child of any chance of sexual pleasure for the rest of his or her life. We're talking about 9, 10, 11-year-olds who cannot give informed consent. Then they have body parts chopped off by a medical establishment and by parents who mean well but believe in these doctors, and they shouldn't. And when they inevitably get past the awkwardness of puberty or what have you, and they want to turn around and detransition, those who love bomb them on Reddit saying, come on in, the water's fine, abandon them. They are depressed. They have changed their bodies forever in a way that is irreversible. And we are all sitting back saying, it's a remote issue, as Kamala Harris said. It's not remote. It's the issue of our time, both with respect to children and women's rights.
Well, let's back up a little on that.
Amen. Wow. She said a good handful. They sterilize these kids, and they grow up and realize they're in an irreversible phase.
Right.
So they can't even go back to what they once knew. Now they're in a place where they chopped off different parts of their bodies. Kids, they chopped off different parts of their bodies. They grow up, and now they get to a place where they can make a fair judgment with their mind. You know, I mean, as far as them being older than just a child who believes in imaginary things.
Right.
Clearly, it's happening with some adults still believe in imaginary things, but that's neither here nor there. I'm saying like a 6-year-old does not make the same judgment that an 18-year-old or an adult could make. Exactly. So you allow this little kid to do different things, and now they are at an age where they're like, man, did I really want to do that? But now it's too late because your parents who were supposed to be protecting you failed you. Panel?
Yeah, I think that's, she made such a good point about there are people that are now coming out that did make these decisions and they're regretting them. But you don't see articles or things being put out on the news about these things. They're trying to hide those stories for a reason because there's a whole agenda that they're trying to push. And I feel that the agenda behind this is depopulation. Mm-hmm. Because if there's less people, female and male, having kids, and it's more just male and female, it's going to cause depopulation inevitably in some shape or form. It's going to happen. So I feel like that's what they're trying to do. And also, just to speak on the 1-year-old who knew that she was a trans or a boy. I guess it was a boy who thought she was a girl at 1 year old. At 1 year old, as a kid, kids aren't thinking of stuff like that. I remember being young and I like to play with boy toys. That doesn't mean I thought I was a boy. I like playing with action figures and I like playing video games and cars and stuff. And even there may be boys that like playing with girl things when they're that little, just because you grow up with brothers and sisters, all type of toys around. You're just playing with stuff. At that point, they can play with anything. They can play with a block. They make anything fun at that age. So it's like, that doesn't mean anything. And I dressed up like a tomboy sometimes. And I like to wear my brother's clothes or something like that. Just because I was doing it, my mom wasn't like, yeah, you're a boy. And I'm and just running with it. Or even some people who do say that, growing up, there was a lot of girls that I grew up around that were tomboys or wish that they were boys and stuff, but that doesn't mean their parents went with it and was like, all right, you're a boy, we're gonna buy you all these boy things, we're gonna do this, da, da, da. Like, no, it's just let them just be. Let them just be at that point. They're just experimenting, they're trying things, they're learning what they like, they're learning what they don't like. We go through phases. I went through a tomboy phase, I went through like an emo phase, I went through a nerd phase where I used to wear suspenders and I used to think I was the biggest nerd and wear like glasses. Like, we just go through
What's going on?
Like, we just go through phases growing up. That's a part of life. That doesn't mean I'm gonna my parents or even I as a parent is gonna permanently change my child to whatever they're saying that they are at that moment. I just think that's ridiculous. It should never be that.
Right. What's even scarier is like even thinking about what goes on in this child's household, because the parents can brainwash a kid into believing that there's something that they're not. If the parents got loose screws. So this baby could have been 1 year old. Exactly. Probably doing what Sophia said, like playing with boy toys, and the mom was like, Ronald, come here. He's playing with boy toys. Or playing with girl toys. He's playing with girl toys, playing with Barbies. What does that mean? What does that mean, Carol? He's just saying he's a girl. He's telling us something.
It's a sign.
Right. Can you imagine like that? That could possibly. I'm telling you, I've seen different TikToks where women are holding their baby saying, "This is a girl." Delusional parents.
It is delusional.
Well,
Maybe they actually wanted a girl and they ended up having a boy, so
There it
now they're
is.
just trying to switch it around or something.
well, you
There
just
it
hit
is.
a truth bomb right there. Well, I think, you know what? Y'all ready? I think it's my time to shine. The madman is here. He got something to say about this, okay?
Gotta say.
There ain't no way that you gonna say that little Violet at the age of 1.5 said,
Sad.
"Cuckoo gaga, I'm trans." You lost your mind. You did that yourself. You don't put that on that child and say, "Oh yeah, and we're gonna and nobody's gonna silence her and nobody's gonna get in her way." Who the? Huh?
Sad.
Let my son, let legend Jamal Stevenson come to me and tell me, "Hey, I feel like I'm this." The first thing I'm gonna do is pull out that rod, like, well, I'm gonna show you who you is. I'm gonna let you know I ain't finna play with you, and I'm gonna pull the truth out in the beginning. Male and female, they won. That's it. There ain't no gender confusion over here. If you confused, I know where you got it from. It's from the devil. Good seed, bad seed. I want good seed, Daddy. Well, guess what? We're not gonna choose that foolishness over here. We don't do that. It's you weakless, spine back, jelly back. It's you parents that let the children run the house. I feel like I'm a girl. Okay, well, get over your feelings, get over your emotions, and let's step back into this truth.
Reality.
1.5 years old, I'm trans, and you ran with that? No, like Sophia said, you secretly wanted a trans daughter, you wanted that stuff. But on Halloween, it's only a costume on Halloween. They can't really be Batman on Halloween. No, baby, it's just a costume. But a trans, oh yeah, you can be a trans. No.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I'm like, see, we're picking and choosing here because they're picking and choosing here because they're saying that, oh, she goes first, like it's whatever she wants, like if we have to move states, whatever. But when your child was little saying, I'm Batman, I want to be Batman when I grow up. Or,
no, you're not.
You're just gonna make sure that everything that he wears is Batman and this and that, or I'm a cat, so I'm gonna make my kid use the bathroom in a cat litter. I'm gonna feed them cat food. Like I'm gonna get a cat brush. Like how far are we gonna go with this? Now we're picking and choosing. Now you're not just it's whatever she wants and nobody's gonna silence her.
Well, she wanna rob a bank. How about that?
What if she wanted to be a cat? What if she only wanted to eat ice cream all the days of her life?
We're robbing a bank.
We're just gonna give her ice cream all the days of her life.
She want to rob a bank, so we gonna move across state, get her a ski mask, and get her some guns, let her rob bank to bank.
It's just the agenda. They're just trying to. It's the inclusion thing. If you're not inclusive, then you're evil. Then you're hateful. It's terrible.
If you don't affirm them, just know if you don't affirm them, then you're totally wrong. No, if you are affirming gender confusion, then something is wrong with you. Deranged. This is rubbish. This is brown cabbage. This is dumpster juice. You need to get away from this type of mindset. That no wonder. Oh, and you hear the husband. Oh yeah, we're not gonna. It look like he got something going on in himself. I ain't gonna put it out there, but it look like he got some sugar in his tank. Well, he got something. Nobody's gonna stop.
And you know what they said about the psychologists, that when you do take your children there, that they're all about affirming. You see what their agenda is right there. They're not even trying to thoroughly see and really do real studies. It's all about just affirming is yes, yes, yes. It's a yes, man. Affirming is whatever you say, yes. Whatever you say, yes. They're not even conducting thorough studies or experiments or whatever it is that they need to do. It's more just like, go to a psychologist. This is what you are. We're going to tell you yes, and we're going to help you and cater to this process and help you go through this. Like, that's not okay right there. Psychologist.
Yeah. It's definitely a sad situation, you know, even with the Batman thing. Like, they think they're Batman, then their parents tells them there's no such thing as Gotham City. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
But, you know, I can only pray that the kid comes into truth.
Absolutely.
Because the parents have failed a kid who thinks that they're a different gender, and then they allow them to, take hormonal shots and different pills and stuff like that. That's evil. beyond measure. Right. Be a parent. Be protective. Sometimes things that you tell your kids, they're not gonna like it. You know, you're gonna be looked at like the bad parent. There's different times when I was a kid and my mom did things, and I hated my mom when I was little.
Same.
You know, when different things happen, or if I got spanked or something like that. You know, but you get older and you realize, like, wow, that was true love. It was just hard love. Hallelujah. So, I pray for the child to come into light. Amen.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think in the comments, you guys. Subscribe. Go over to Golly Vibe Studios where more table talks are recorded. Hallelujah. We love you guys. God bless. Shalom.